Okay, dear viewers, I think we are good to go now. Please tell me in the comments if we are okay. There's been a huge interruption, but I think now we are okay. Tell me in the comment if we are okay, and share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. We are hosting Charles Longwe, a UPND Golden member who is challenging the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. He has urged the government to go, he has gone to court, and he wants the court to authorize the party to set up an interim leadership, because the current leadership led by President Hakainde Hichilema, their mandate expired in 2026 in February. As we are seated today, the National Management Committee, the entire leadership of the UPND may not even have an electoral college to go to a conference before we go to general elections. And let me bring in Charles quickly. He begins to introduce himself as I begin to resolve the issue of the background. Charles, welcome to the program, and thank you very much for the sacrifice, and thank you for the patience.
Okay, you're welcome, Emmanuel. Are you able to hear me now? Sound check 1, 2. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very clearly. We can hear you very clearly. Charles, we are already late as I'm sorting out these matters in the background to circulate the broadcast. Begin to tell us, who is Charles Longwe, who the entire country is discussing right now?
Emmanuel, who tells you that the whole country is talking about Charles Longwe? Huh? You are too far to know what we are discussing in Zambia, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, in Zambia we have our own issues. You guys who are online and spend a lot of time monitoring the stories online might think that small political dust here and there is all that consumes the Zambian people. I tend to disagree. Yes, if you say that there is something happening or brewing in the UPND, I'll say, of late we've been talking about the convention and things around that. But for the ordinary Zambians, they are getting by with their business, as they always do, hardworking people who sacrifice a lot for this country on a day-to-day basis. So I don't personally see that what we are doing is disturbing them or causing them to spend a lot of time listening to us. But the politicians, yes. But this is an election, yes. And it's a time for competition. So we're in this game. The players, both on the opposition side and on the ruling side, looking at the upcoming elections, maybe talking a lot about what's going on now in the UPND.
Briefly, Charles, just tell us, many people have been surprised by your action, and we'll go in detail about the action that you've taken. But just briefly, tell us other actions that you've taken in the past. I'm aware that you took some serious action against the late President Edgar Lungu in 2016, and you were very active in 2021. So people that may not know, you will be surprised that you've taken this action to demonstrate that the UPND leadership has an expired mandate, and they might doubt your loyalty to the party. Just walk us through the issues that you've done with the previous government as a UPND member.
Well, just to correct you, it's not in that I took action again in the court against the late president, Dr. Edgar Lungu. May he so rest in peace. It was actually in 2021. But in 2026, again, I took it's not 2026 is now, but in 2016, I did take the justices, after that 14-day judgment against us, which they ruled against us and our candidate, the President Hakainde Hichilema, and the running GBM. I'm one of those who petitioned the Judicial Complex Commission I have a track record. You see, there are different ways we participate in governance. Some maybe like going around in the night, Chimoela and so forth. Maybe that's not my portion. I'll tell you the first time I ever took action against a civic leader is a member of the PF. It's my own MP, Jim Kapat. I think it was 2009 or 2008 there. I was that time in Mandela constituency. I took her on a decision not to attend the National Constitutional Conference against the law. At the time, I clearly stated that all members of parliament, though the decision was made by the PA, I felt that she was bound by the law and should respect the law. These are lawmakers. They should be the first to respect the law. We can't encourage lawlessness. So as early as maybe 2010, 2009, thereabouts, my activism in these things has been one of the ways in which I participate. You can ask Justice Geni Mulenga, Palon Muronda, and Anistari. I go pro se. That is in person. I deal with the issue at hand. And I don't pull any punches. I do of research before I engage. My own MP, called me. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
From Parliament when I petitioned that. We have a culture. Allow me. We have a culture where when we elect leaders, they think they are bosses. I don't buy that stuff. They should be accountable to those who elect them. And I'm surprised that my own MP, in the name of Jim Kapata, could call me and threaten me. I laughed it off, and we went about our business. I eventually petitioned Parliament to have a motion tabled on the parliamentary floor to discuss this thing. But that's what under the street. In other words, I don't like to see in my realm or in my sphere something which I can do something about. Let me put it like this, Emmanuel. The Constitution cannot defend itself. The laws which we have cannot defend themselves or afford themselves. It requires us to be diligent as citizens. Whether we are in the ruling party or whether we are in the opposition, it is incumbent on us citizens who are involved in that particular grouping to ensure that accountability is there. I'm a member of the UPNB. I have been a member consistently from 2001. I support the party. Everyone knows me in UPNB. They know me. I can tell you, I don't even need, that's why I didn't even need to respond to what this media person was talking about. Ask Grace on Hamas. Ask everyone. Ask Ichakawa. The one you call Benjamin, the bodyguard from Benjamin. Ask anyone. I can remember in State House next to Haka in the Israel. They will tell you who Charles Long is. I'm a committed member of the UPNB. I supported the president with my assets, with everything throughout this time. And I only asked one question: when are we going to have a convention? Have I become a pariah? No. The Constitution of Zambia.
Yeah. Just coming to that, Charles. I think you have been writing letters to the Secretariat about the state of the party. You've expressed serious concerns that the party may not be compliant with the laws of our country, with these founding documents, with the Registrar of Societies. What is the current state of the party, and what has been your grievance that you've been raising, just to update the audience?
I will be reluctant now that I've taken this step, because those are the things which are in our documents, which you have passed. So I will not devour into those issues again. Those are in public domain. Whatever I was doing, I did it in the open. The letters illustrate what we are trying to do to get the leadership to respond and address an imminent threat. You see, Emmanuel, I accepted to come on your show You might have been surprised. Why is this UPND member accepting to come on on my show? Emmanuel, I come on your show with a warning. This action reflects in the PF. Reflect. Just look at what we have deposed in that court and see whether you, as PF, can even hold a convention. I dare you. This action will illustrate that the political parties in Zambia have taken people for granted. You in the PF, you are now clamoring around saying you are going to hold a convention. Where are you getting the delegates? When was your last provincial assembly? When was your last district assembly? When was your last constituent assembly? You have lost connection with the people. All you want is to go for the presidency. It doesn't matter the structure. I am from the structure. You can go to UPND from 2001. They know me. I'm in the structure. No position as national management for the last 20 years. I've been active in the party. Whenever there's something to do what we call foot soldiers, I'm always available. The structure needs to breathe. And all these political parties mark my way. This year, if you don't hold regular elections in your structure, mark my way, there's Article 52.4. And it's not only against the UPND this time. Look at yourselves. Let's be fair. Democracy, I know. You may say you don't have funds to start from the grassroots upwards. You don't bend laws like that. I deliberately came on your show, Emmanuel, to urge politicians across all parties to respect their structure.
Correct.
These people in the structure mean something. They are district chairman. In the PF, you have a district chairman in Chidarawombwe or Chirubi Island. There's a constituency chairperson there. When was he elected? This year, there will be no Gonga candidate. And I say this boldly, there will be no Gonga candidate. Whether they are jumping on what they are calling BMX, I call that a chingerenge. It won't happen. You have to go back to the structure. All of you. It's not, this score is not only for UPND, it's for everyone. Look at yourselves as leaders. Be honest with your electorate. You are all rushing headlong for the presidency. Why? Why don't you serve your members from the grassroots? That's what I'm asking for in the UPND. In Kavuma, we elected people years ago. We are going to another election. What mandates do we carry? That's all I'm asking. Now, if anyone else is not asking these questions, it's not my fault. I belong to the UPND. Haka in the Ichilema. Haka in the Ichilema is my friend. Everyone who knows the Ichilema and that are bad. But when the law has been transgressed, I reached out to the leadership. So where we have reached now is like everything else. When you fail to resolve an issue, you move to the next level. So that's where we are. I urge all political parties in this country, introspect. This heightened desire for office is not right. You are not serving the people down there. That's all I'm saying. I've been a member of the UPND for all this time. You can go to the secretariat, not even once have I stood as councillor, mayor, or MP. I have enough resources to do that. I have not done it. But I save my party dividend every time. And so if today when I ask the right questions or they call them the wrong questions, they call me this and that. Well, that's up to them. But I've served this party of Mazoka. faithful over these years. And we have been lawful all these years. Where there are gaps, we have demonstrated and we expected to correct. But when there is impunity, what can we do? We can't condone laws. And the same thing will be each and every political party this year. I say this to the people, maybe the audience, most of them are peers.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Charles. The UPND, Max Simue responded to you. Of course, he called you names. He doubted the legitimacy of your membership. And he said the party is compliant. They can hold a general conference even in August, or they can even hold it in 2027. When you heard that, you have read the UPND constitution and you've been a member for many, many years. What is your response to your spokesperson's response to your challenge to the Secretariat that the leadership's mandate has expired and both the National Management Committee and that of the President mandate have expired? I know the matters have now moved to court, but we can speak on the periphery, especially the response from Max Simue, who challenged you and said they can hold the elections even next year.
Ambassador, Mark and I have a history. I'll tell you. When I was the youth chairperson in the UPND, I acted for a good 3 years because Frank Tayali, who is now Cabinet Minister and Transport, I think Ministry of Transport, he resigned and joined MMP. I was his deputy and I took over for a good 3 years. During that time, I visited Unza Radio with my good friends Antonio Mwanza and Santos Kawanta, who are his school friends. Now, the young man, I don't think those were words coming from his mouth. I know Mark, him and I come a long way. There is no way he could be saying what he's saying about me, as if he doesn't even know the person he's talking about. So I honestly leave that there. To say that the issue of the convention next year, the response to me is very clear. It's in black and white. My position is in black and white, and it's in court. That will be adjudicated upon. My position I've made very clear to everyone in the party, starting from the president, whom I respect. I reached out. When I wrote a letter to the Secretary General, there was no movement. I come from a Christian background. All right? We don't correct upward. And we don't want to catch, our fiash. I can't do something. I've given them 48 hours, and I wasn't going to go to court if I wasn't sure that the president had been made aware of what was happening. So I reached out through my good friend Leslie to ensure that the president was aware of the dangers at the Secretariat. I respect the president. He is my president. But the issue is, concerning we can postpone a convention, my answer is I've been black and white. It's not possible. We can't. I don't want to, because those will be the merits of my case, but I could just say this. On the periphery, I do say it. There is no organ in the party which is imposed with a mandate to defer or extend 10 years. Never heard of it. I've been a member of this party for 25 years. And we have illustrated this position clearly in the court document. What I was afraid of, can you imagine if what they are calling my action being against UPND? What if this was done by innovative opposition people? Would they have even provided a solution? They would have just gone for the throat of the party. In fact, I can tell you what the opposition would have done. They would have waited for us to fire. That is why, as a lawyer in Zambia, I'm on your show today and saying, I don't want to move the court in terms of Article 52 for against any political party. Because I certainly will. Those who think that they can ignore their attack and just run straight for the president. Because Article 54 reposes on us any person who have locus at that. We know what is happening in citizenship test. We know what's happening in STD. We know what's happening in PF. If you don't go back to the structure, Article 60 will come into play. You should understand that there is a history, and this starts in 2016. Article 1, the transition, which in Article 18 of that act talks about political parties being transformed in a way now to statutory bodies. These political parties, it's an irony, you know. Mr. Mwamba, let me discuss this because it's important. I think the Zambian people need to understand something. Because, you know, I don't like being ruled by deception. Zambian people hear me. These so-called political parties don't want to do what the Constitution has said. When Article 60 was brought into play, it also made a prescription that we should institute and prescribe the political parties bill. Nobody talks about it. For 5 years, PF did do. For 5 years now, UPND has not done it. This legislation we are using under the Societies Act is not for political parties. The Constitution itself describes what it envisages in our time. It envisages that political parties will be like statutory bodies, and even to an extent that they will be funded so that they can be accountable. Where is that necessary? Who funds our politics in Zambia? We don't know. These candidates flying around, moving around and saying they have money to campaign. Where are they getting it from? That's the issue. So, this game you keep on playing, this year, not under my watch. Benjamin Mwamba moved the court, constitutional court, in 2021. Along these lines, he had no course of action. I think this time we have the course of action. Any political party which will not go to the structure and yet will fill the candidate. Don't say we didn't warn you. Me, I don't tell people that, oh, there is this, just to test to see how they will do. No. You know, it's like a prophetic call for those of you who are Christians, you understand this. It's a warning. I'm warning all political parties. Go back to your structure. Go back to your structure. Respect those branches. Respect those constituency officials. And if it's a money you don't have, quickly run to parliament. Have a fight. The Constitution will fund political parties if you're willing to be accountable. Don't be hiding money in your bedroom. No. I'm saying you're rich people. Well, it's actually political party funding. We are tired of this game. This time around, if you don't say we didn't warn you. I told the UPN, respond, and I was not bluffing. Call my bluff, opposition. If I'm not told you. Mwamba, we should love our country more than our political party. Zambia, political party second. It's a vehicle. Zambia first. Nobody will defend this constitution. I feel sad as a young man to see John Sangwa step out from his law firm, and I'm in politics, to see him come to say there is literally no regard of the rule of law. As if we are not there. And if my friends want me to be candidate, I've never been a candidate in any constituency. I've never been a candidate. I love my party. I support candidates. Number one person I support in this country when it comes to elections, every 5 years, is Hakainde Hichilema. I say this with boldness, and he knows it. I'm at his, any time, midnight, they will call. We're on the move for Hakainde. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow countries, this country can only be saved by Zambians who love it more than their political parties. The constitution and democracy does not defend itself. It requires men and women, maybe like me, to stand up. You sleeper cells, like all these sleeper cells. People who pray that we have a peaceful election. Pray that we have votes. No, you mobilize votes. You don't pray for votes. You mobilize. You go out and register. That's how you do it. I want the Zambians to hear me very well. This business of sitting, Nogamba Dwali Sogolo will not favor. You have seen in our party that Dwali Sogolo don't hear you. You know, Ambassador.
Yes.
I have a history and I'm a student of politics from the best. I can tell you, if you want to know who I am, since you are here and you are publicity secretary, call Given Lurinda. Ask him who is Charles Longway. They'll tell you. In citizenship first. The chairperson. They'll tell you who is. Let's remember. You know these political parties never remember. And HH didn't even know each other. It's me who introduced them. So I've been around this business for a long time, but I'm fed up to see how we are being shortchanged at this hour by leaders who do not want to uphold the rule of law. That's all I'm asking. Respect the branches. Go back to the branches. Go back to the constituency. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, and dear citizens and fellow Zambians, we are hosting Charles Longway. He's been a long-time member of the UPND. He's been urging the party to go to conference. He has cited Article 60 of the Republican Constitution that requires that political parties go to General Conference, General Congress, or Convention, or whatever you call it. And the UPND have a very elaborate outline structure in which they are supposed to start from the bottom, from polling station management committees right up to the top. And Mr. Longway has even taken a court action that is before the courts, where he's even now fearing that the UPND may not even have time to hold a constitutional general congress as prescribed in their books. And as you've heard, he's made a warning that this action that he has taken in court actually applies to many political parties, because if they do shortcuts, they will not be allowed to stand. Their candidates will not be allowed to stand. Already has expressed fear that his own party, the UPND, may not have a credible election because of what the party statutes provides. Mr. Longway is a very, very brave man. As you have seen, he has urged all of us to love our country first before we love our political parties, because we are tolerating a lot of things in our political parties. And the warning he has said is just not to UPND, who now have a former president, former UPND president, former National Management Committee, and as at this stage, they don't have a leadership. And their own constitution requires, as prescribed, you should read his petition and his affidavit, very strong issues. He can't delve in it because now the matter is in court, but he has given warning to all political parties and all political players that it's not just the UPND that must abide by Article 54 and Article 60 and their own party constitutions. You gave a warning to the PF, to the FDD and others. You think that the conference they've held or they're about to hold are not credible?
Those are the same ceremonies, what they call nomination of candidates. No. Read the statute. Read the statute. You know, this is delegated authority. It starts from somewhere. Ask William Banda. In fact, I'm surprised the PF are doing it. But Davis knows this. Now I'm in the PD. Those are people at the secretary, I can tell you. The party is the branches. That's where it is. The branches. That's the party. The background. A background is party. In other words, those are the people. So when you start to convey and you have these lists of officials just to show vote that you are the presidential, you can just make up list. Structures we can Congress. No. Those people there should also elect their own leader. But I'll tell you one thing. I know why people don't do it. People fear election. Because there are consequences. It's time to account. You have to be accountable to the electorate. So you do shortcuts. You don't want people to judge your performance. You want to escape. Postponing a convention so that you can choose amongst yourselves who the candidates shall be. You don't need to have candidate. We are supposed to have primaries. But you want to bring is it MCC or NMC as we have it in the UPND, so that you can be the ones choosing candidates and your positions are secure. No. You first get authority from the branches. You see, I follow politics very well from Michael Sata, Meiso, Amazoka. Here I say, and in Tonga we say, Dimwana Amazoka. We learn that politics is the track. I'll tell you one thing which inspires me, Ambassador. Our president, the late Anderson Mazoka, died in convention. He was frail. Emmanuel Mwamba will tell you a story where we went and visited him at his house. And he gave a lecture for 1 hour and opened my mind to what party mobilization was all about. He was talking to Emmanuel Mwamba, and I was listening in as a young man. Where as he was, he said, Lepson, democracy. And this is what I'm saying, you can ask for Lepson. Democracy needs to be managed. It's young in Zambia. We are doing it for these young children. We need to go through these processes. And I was listening. Now, he died in that path. So I know that our fathers laid the foundation for us to follow. Now, if it's just for convenience that you are popular, if you are popular, tell your popularity. What's the problem? If you are popular, just go to the polls. You can't sneak into leadership. So it is imperative that the Zambian people start looking at these so-called leaders in light of what the statutes say. Judge them according to the statute. Honestly, look, is this the standard we have set for ourselves? No. What does it say? What's the etiquette? When I see, I'll tell you one thing which amazing. I watch in Parliament, the speaker is dancing. Mary is a dancing queen. I say, how can this be? How? On the floor of Parliament. How can it be? I can't defend such things. I can't. I might be quiet, but when you give me a moment to speak, I'll speak. I can't defend such things. The speaker is a presiding officer. Like a judge in a court. Should be neutral. All her actions should show our values. Kukomboka kujatikaenda, we can dance, but not on the floor. There should be integrity. You know, you have to look at perception. What does that show? It shows partisanship. A speaker should not be partisan. So for me, she falls below the standard. She's biased because you can't show your partisanship. I know she's a member of our party, but that act we should, as Zambians, and say, is this what is supposed to happen? Should reflect our values of that high office. I can tell you, I'm always proud when I see Banaruman, how she conducts herself in the house. How the president carried himself in that office. Like, you know, when they go for campaigns and they are on the stage, don't mix that. That time when he's on the stage, sometimes he's UPND party president. So, you know how politics is. But when he's carrying himself as in the office as Republican president, I'm always proud. We as the Zambian people should look at these leaders and say, the statute says this, and bring them to account. I tell you. So as the Zambian people, I'm speaking to you today. Come out of your cocoon. These leaders who are saying they want to be your leaders, where did they get the authority from? This business of being candidates is the biggest problem. You are a school teacher, you are a businessman, you are this, you are doing your own thing. Then when it's election year, you want to be a candidate. Can you be a priest like that? You have to be in the service first. You just don't come from the top of the mountain and descend and become a...
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles Longwe. I'll take a few calls. Ladies and gentlemen, share the broadcast. We are hosting a senior member of the UPND, Charles Longwe. He has raised issues about his own party. He wants a party to go to conference. Now he even fears that the party may not hold a constitutional conference. He has taken matters to court because after several letters to the secretariat, Longwe has decided to take a court action. And he says this is a call, not just to the UPND. This is a standard of the law, and it applies to all political parties. And as we open the phone lines, if you have any question or contribution to Charles, be respectful. Always respect our guests. Ask your question in a good way, and the lines are now open. Let's hear from you. A calendar for the national election is literally out. On the 15th, presidential candidate who should have held party conferences that both the registrar and the police must have witnessed will take candidates on the 15th of April. Then on between 15th and 25th, there will be nominations. May, there will be nominations for parliamentarians, council chairperson, councillors, mayors, and president. There will be nominations during that period. Again, the requirements of Article 60 and Article 54 kick in. And this is what Charles is urging political parties, that can you give us leaders that have been approved in their own structures as prescribed by the law. Let's take the cause, Charles. Let's hear what the country is saying. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and give us your contribution to Mr. Charles Longwe.
I don't know whether, good evening, I don't know whether my name is Alex.
Alex, make your contributions quickly.
Whether it's a question or a consent.
Okay.
Charles, good evening, and thank you for appearing or coming on this program, and it brings the issues that matters most. Balongwe, the party that you belonged for a long time is a disappointment to many Zambians today. I will start with the issues that have happened in the past, looking at Mufumbe by-election some way back. It was covered with a lot of bloodshed. It has been spearheading the issue to do with Mapatiza formula, which is total killing and the massacring, whatever you may call it. And now, before 2021 general elections in the capital city, there was a lot of wrongdoings where in the Kasangula Road, they were beating up and
Alex, there is a topic that Mr. Longwe has brought.
Alluding to that.
Yeah, quickly. Yeah.
So if you look at how many wrong things that this party has done, do you think under this leadership, these people will be able to follow the law? What you have brought up today, it is something that is borders that and command and instruct each and every political party that should do and follow. But do you think this party under a church can do a right things and go to a convention? Thank you.
Oh, okay. No, I get it. He is asking if it is possible for President Hakainde Hichilema to respect the party constitution, if there are even issues about him respecting the Republican constitution. I think Charles got that. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and give us your contribution.
That is me, Mwamba.
Who is calling?
Your brother here, Kafwimbi.
Oh, Mr. Kafwimbi from Australia. Yes, my brother. Make your contributions.
Yes. Okay. Just a very short briefing to it. You know, in Japan there was what was called the kamikazes, the one that the. So my Charles Katwishing, him being from the UPND, who's a very valued member in the UPND. Ni kamikaze or the bravery or what is it? Because nothing pressure. Because there's an amount of bravery to challenge these people the way they behave. You know, so quicker so honestly, I think he can explain.
Thank you. Charles is shocked by your bravery and is asking, is it a kamikaze action? I think you know who the kamikazes are from Japan. He says your bravery reaches that level, but you will answer. Yes, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contributions.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Ambassador, nchiranga sana nchi badisha kwa ajili ya profesi. Ndechokera imwe ambassador pali broadcast yenu no mulimo omuhomba pali mukuhomba mulimo usuma mwalenga twakwata kuna bachaozi apa abantu abengiro barayishwa kwe bati ifine fireranda bachaozi na imwe po mwabera because bachaozi okona bamona keti babachite host kuli broadcast ya kwe bati tai na wino bachaozi nde mitokera sana wampera kwechikosere show because nalemo nakwati Zambia yalipoa nomba namono kwebati mwali bemparume ishinga kukorole chalo pantoko tulera nda pali lero tatulelanda pali UPNG tatulelanda pali PF echo mulelanda po mulesa kamana pa future ya Zambia lero abachikweti amenso tubamilika muri fimbi barara kumbi lero tiri ne pachinga no kumi support sana because kwena risale mpara elio chikwete sana na mashiwa ayenga ya kulanda.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think he has put it. Oh, you have.
Apa mwini wa chaozi na mkwata ko abare support ko within the party or muchirife mwekanje kina muri ku broadcast.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and give us your contribution.
Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba. This is Sinyangwe Dani. I'm calling you from Canada.
Yes.
Charles Longwe, I just want to say thank you. We need more patriotic, brave Zambians like you. But Charles Shalande Fingi, but Lesale Mpala, and I hope abantu bale umfofyo mulelanda. Actually, you love UPND more than more people that pretend to love the party. in everything that we do in this world, tufuye tulekonka amafundo. Charles na total of mwachita, and I hope other people can be brave like you. Nabe na balande chishinka lesare mpala. Ambassador Mwamba, we are always blessed to listen to you. God bless you always. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's just take about 2 more calls, then we allow Charles Longwe to answer. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Hello, caller, please mute your other device. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello, this is Donos.
Oh, Father Donosco from Italy. Yes, yes, Father. Make your contribution. I'm hosting Charles Longwe, senior UPND member, who's challenged his own party.
Thank you so much. I am literally shocked. I have to mention, I'm shocked. I'm shocked in a positive manner, and I absolutely would like to thank Mr. Charles Longwe, and I think I would like also to thank your bravery, Ambassador Mwamba, for bringing this gentleman on this platform. I'm shocked because it's the first time that I can see somebody speaking and probably not using Imingalato. I appreciate. I thank him so much. I have only one question. If the contribution that Mr. Charles is genuine, as I have understood, it's so genuine, I have a question for Mr. Charles Longwe. Yesterday, Dr. Chimba Kambwili was also cautioning the PF party to say, hold the intra-party elections free and fair, please. A genuine intra-party election. So I put now the words of Dr. Chishimba Kambwili cautioning the PF, please, can you hold a genuine intra-party convention so that we go to the Zambian people and we present with them a genuine elections. So I am asking the UPND to hold a genuine conference or election, intra-party elections, as it is stipulated in the law. My question now to Charles is here. But Charles, you know what has happened to the PF party? At the moment, the Patriotic Front, which I reckon to be the biggest party in Zambia, has entered what was called the consent judgment, which just deserves the judge to affirm and put a signature, and the case is closed. This consent judgment was supposed to be given to the PF a month ago. We don't know what is happening. And for you, Charles, is it fair as you see it? Is it fair if the PF is held by the consent judgment, which just deserves a signature of a judge, so that the PF now can go to the convention and do the right thing? So what is your word on this matter, where a biggest political party in Zambia, the Patriotic Front Party, has been held waiting for when, we don't know when that consent judgment is going to be given, and when the judges are going to give the acting PF president, who is Mao Sampanao, and he is also the Secretary General of PF, to go and change the office bearer, office leaders at the offices there. So do you think the PF has a case to answer in this case when their case has been held up by those in authority? Thank you so much.
Okay, I guess he's saying, will your matter be heard? Especially that is quite strong. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and give us your contribution to Charles.
Hello, good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
This is MK6, I'm in Joburg.
Yes, MK6.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, it's been a long time since I called in. I can't see your lives on Facebook, I don't know why. I can only follow a bit on TikTok. So, just a quick one. I would just want to applaud and thank Charles, though I don't know him personally, but he has taken a very bold stance, and it takes a man and a half to do what he has done against the UPND. Because we all know that the UPND stand for Mapatisia. And Charles, I just want to pat you on your back and also warn you at the same time that maybe you need to have four eyes now, because this party is ruthless. So to come to his point, I just want to add on a voice. I think from 2006 when HH took over UPND, if I'm right in that 2006. Are you telling us to say UPND had no any other person who wanted to be a president apart from him? And as a country, we can learn something from party elections or party democracy, that UPND had or has no respect for democracy at all. You cannot force one person from 2006 until 2021. What special values does HH have that no one else in the UPND had or has, so to speak? So, Charles, thank you so much. EMV, I think we can get more notes on the sidelines. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me take the last two callers and we revert to Charles. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hi, Ambassador Mwamba.
Yes, Queen Pumi. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, thank you, sir. Welcome, Charles Alongwe. We are honored to have you. Hats off to you for showing such bravery and courage to come and talk against your own political party, where we have seen the last 4 years, this political party, UPND, can never accept or tell the truth. So my contribution is I wish and pray that many people in UPND can take your stand and stand on the truth. And I also want to say that, party members are the one who mislead presidents in Zambia. We saw that in 2021 because they have failed to tell the president the truth. It's not only about the presidential office or party structures. People have to be elected. So I feel like the UPND members, they are being unfair by even Comrade Simue to come and speak like that when he knows the truth. He's a learned man. I hear he's a lawyer. But the question I have is, will the judiciary or the ECZ disqualify UPND should they fail to hold the convention? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The last caller, then I bring Charles. Hello, caller. We might take another set of round of questions, but you are the last caller. Quickly tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and make your contribution or request to Charles Longwe.
Hello, Ambassador Mwamba. This is Nameless.
Nameless, make your contribution or question.
Yes, please. Yeah. No, nothing. I don't have much to say. I just want to thank Valongwe, being a concerned citizen who has always had the thought of improving our country. It takes a few like him to come publicly and talk to the nation, talk to everybody. I really thank him so much, because he's so courageous. And I should say that abantu ebutufaya bakwebati balelandila abantu bonse tata mbale sabale mipala muleenda fyo mtende tuatasha sana. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Charles, let me bring you on the spot. Zambians, first of all, are surprised by the courage, because they know that it's extremely difficult to speak out in the UPND. And you've stood out to speak. I think you explained that Zambians must love the country more than they love wherever they belong. First, they must love the country more. But you heard the questions. Please respond to both questions and contributions.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ambassador. You see, I am a Zambian. Like most of your audience, they love this country. Sometimes we don't know how to express it. Sometimes there's a lot of frustration in our part and with leadership. You know, I can tell you that there are days when we are under the yoke of the PF cadre who are very frustrated. But I'll tell you one thing. Scripture tells us, fear not him who is in authority. Do right, and he will commend you. There is a way to criticize leadership. That's what I believe, Ambassador. I have nothing. Let me tell you something. I will not disrespect the leadership just because I think I'm right. No. I'll make my position known to them respectfully. I'll challenge their decision forcefully, as I have seen I've gone up to the court. I don't expect, I don't even lose sleep. No. John Sangwa, you know, former Attorney General, is it
Musa Mwenye?
Correct. Yes. You know, those to me are my examples. Because maybe I have a bias in law, so I understand something. Put your point across. Don't defend someone. There's no need to describe how big their head is. Just talk about the outcome of what is in the head which you don't like. That is their character. Criticize their decision. And fear no one. You are calling my brevity. In the midst of the time when they used to say they are PF cadres, they will do this, they will do this, I myself went before the Constitutional Court and took an action against the incumbent. I didn't lose sleep over it. One thing which I'll tell you, which I've learned having been in politics for this long. I'm not interested in making a name for myself. I just want to do what is right. Now, if what I'm doing is popular, that's something else. That's public perception. Just do what is right. Respect those in authority. Be strong about your criticism. Head on. Don't get around the issue. We have the best examples. We should learn from those who have gone before us. Practice politics in a decent manner. You have no fear for him who is in authority. I don't even lose sleep that my own party will turn against me. You will be surprised. Even when I was doing these actions, I would go to the secretary myself. I would meet the staff there and deliver letters. They knew the contents of my leave. That's how confident I am that I'm not doing anything wrong. If I've done anything wrong, if I had gone on a radio station, desperate leadership, call them names that they are not holding a convention, people are definitely what we need to learn as a people is to coexist, to speak truth to power and speak it strongly, but in a polite manner and coexist. That's what I would say about that. So I'm not on a suicide mission. Yeah, it reminds me of some book I read. The Japanese suicide bomber. No, I'm not in that. I have a beautiful one to see tomorrow. So I'm not thinking of dying anytime soon. So listen, I am here telling you, I have no fear. It might be of a great magnitude this time. Nobody has ever done it. You know, my president likes saying, first time since independence. This is the first time. But I have every confidence that we will approach this issue as it is. We have moved from talking unless we want to settle this experience. Otherwise, we are now in court. So, please, respect your leader. I saw, I love politics. But there is a certain politics I don't love. And this, I'll come to now the issues in the field, the Reverend addressed, and is worried about the process in the courts and so forth and so forth. If you have heard the narrative in the last few days, since I came on the scene addressing this issue, even from my own political party, they are saying I'm a hard gun. There is this notion that nobody can just move out of persuasion on their own. They have to be sponsored. Who can sponsor me? Ask Haka if Charles can be bought to do something like this. Ask him. All these stories they are making is because they don't know me. I can't bench them and knows nobody can pay me to do it. He's a billionaire. If it was about money, I would have gone to H and say, listen, sir, let's make a deal. Because that's what I call him. H. You go to H because you don't know it. Listen, you should be able to respect your leader. And when you differ respectfully. I watched that Davis Mwina describe Given Mwina as a Scottish. How can you reconcile? You degrade yourself. Now, let me deal with the issue in the court. Now Miles has the party. On the other side, he pleaded that he didn't hold a convention. That convention which he held was fake. Now he's bouncing around as the party president and secretary general. So which is which? If you ask me from my court, he's not a credible witness. That consent judgment is just a waste of time. Let me tell you the problems in the political parties are, I'll speak to you because you're my brother. I'll tell you the truth. In politics, this is a game, it's a competition of ideas. Miles was moved by whatever reason, and now at open. And somebody took advantage, they took the party from Valum. Chavinga did the same. Nakokas. I will speak to him in Tumbuka that one. What is happening in PF is indiscipline in the ranks. There is a lot of indiscipline among you in PF. That's what's happening. And you believe the story that the UPND are sponsoring. No, they want people are greedy for power. And they will do wrong things to get it. Now this is my brother, we go to the same thing. But I'll tell you it's wrong. You see, there are rules. When you engage in a game, you play according to the rules. Nobody respects rules when they want to get something. And that's the challenge which you can see I'm confronting in our party. People want to break the rules to get to that, they want to justify the end, like doing anything. No, it doesn't work like that. You should play according to the rules. You know why I respect rules? Because I was seated at home, I was just an ordinary member. I knew they had called it, and I checked around. I saw an opportunity to join a convention. And the Deputy National Youth Chairperson, sitting at home. Nobody blocked me. I pre-qualified, and I was there. Rules. But now, people just want to dance around and become leaders. 1 minute, this judgment. I'm seeking as a concept judgment now when I'm on the and other. Because the next thing is now championing another convention because he's the president. No, come on. This thing in the PF is your own making. And that's what I can tell you. Among your own members, there is no respect for each other and authority.
Thank you. Thank you so much. No, I don't know, Charles, can you take the last time?
Before you go, Ambassador, there is
yes.
There is one to mention. Those, people run away with authority. I believe that I hold the view strongly that Zambia is the one party state. All these other political parties, I want to call them small parties, they are actually just factions of one party. That's why you see how people just move. Just move. There's a mayor in PF, just move the other side, is now PF. There is no ideological divide. They are basically one party state. So within that context of a one party state, we must find solutions for accountability for those in the executive. What is happening and the problems you have in the country is because of excessive overreach through the judiciary to parliament. So we need, from an intelligent point of view, strengthen our institutions. In my case, I believe that we need to strengthen parliament. Isolate parliament from executive overreach. That's how we'll get this thing done. Maybe another broadcast, I'll tell you how this can be done. I'm an architect in this. I can tell you how we can cut these things so that accountability. The president is only doing what he's doing because they are aiding him. In Parliament, you've seen in America,
yeah,
they will not sign the budget. They will refuse. So we need to develop a Parliament is for checks, real checks and balances. Political parties are not for checks and balances.
Thank you, Charles. We already started very late, an hour late, and I'm concerned about you because we discussed. Let me take the last 5 calls, then we come back. You answer, then we end the broadcast. Let me take the last 5 calls. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and give us your contributions.
Okay. Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening.
Tandiwe Keti Shingoma is my name.
And, yes, Tandiwe Keti Shingoma.
Yes, Mr. Mwamba. Good evening, Mr. Longwe.
Yes, Charles Longwe.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Charles Longwe. So, Mr. Charles Longwe, I really appreciate the stance you've taken to take your concerns to the courts of the High Court or the courts of the courts. But my concern is this. You were responding to one of the callers when they said, "Are you not afraid for your life?" You said, "I'm not afraid as long as I'm doing the right thing." I did the same to the president then, President Edgar Lungu. I was able to sleep peacefully, and because as far as I'm concerned, I did the right thing. I never disrespected anybody. My approach was okay. But frankly speaking, you should not run away from the reality that HH is a ruthless president, and the stance that you've taken, I don't think you saying there's nothing that can be done to you, that is a correct statement. I'll say this because of just the moment letters about you challenging the leadership or you writing the letter to the secretariat was in the public domain. We saw a video where Tayali, who everybody knows that is being used by the UPND to campaign for HH, UPND, which is your party, of course, went live, okay? So the stance you've taken, it has been connected to Garin Kombo. They are saying you and Garin Kombo are working hand in hand. If that is true, I don't know. But one of the things that Tayali told the Zambians is that you cannot challenge HH. I'm afraid, my brother Garin Kombo, this is the wrong stance you've taken. You don't know HH, you'll be gone. The way Dean Mwamba was cleared, this is how you'll be cleared. This was Tayali telling the Zambians of how ruthless HH is. Because according to him, the stance that you, Mr. Longwe, has taken, it takes it that you and Gary are working hand in hand. So if you come to tell us to say you are sleeping peacefully because the president, the late former president of Zambia, Mr. Edgar Chagwalungu, never did anything to you. I think you are being unfair. You are being I don't know if this can even be compared. Mr. Lungu and Mr. HH are two different people. Mr. Lungu was a man who had a heart for the people. HH is a ruthless leader. HH is a ruthless leader. That's how come he can be president from I don't know when up to now. You've never had another leader in that organization of yours. It's because it just has to be him, and him alone. And the way he's been handling the UPND party is a reflection of how he's been handling the country. If he cannot respect the constitution of the party where you belong, he cannot respect the constitution of the country. We've seen how he has wrecked the constitution with impunity. We've seen. And a good example is the Bill 7. That Bill 7 was rejected by the majority Zambians. What did he do? Even when there was a court judgment to say this thing, you need to get back to the people. This story is known by you. This known is known by me. This story is known by every well-meaning Zambian. But HH pushed himself. And as we are talking right now, that Bill 7 passed. You talked of the speaker dancing. She was dancing because this thing, which is HH's narrative or agenda, was pushed. We heard of MPs being given money to vote for that thing. This is how ruthless HH is. So for you to tell us to say you are sleeping peacefully, I'm afraid that is not, you may be sleeping peacefully, but be careful. HH is not somebody who will spare your life. For
Thank you. Thank you. Let's quickly take, I think we've got your point. Two key issues. Are you working with Gary Nkombo? And are you sure you are safe? I think those are the two issues that have come from Tandiwe. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
This is Gigi.
Yes, make your contributions or your question to Mr. Longwe.
Mr. Longwe, thanks very much. We have said it and we have heard. UPND must go to the convention. Since 2006, only one person controlling the party. Takwava. Kuya ikalapanshi mwa convention mwasala. Ero what I can say, UPND is a kangaroo party. Takwava. Kuri fionse vale tola ikafe kuri constitution vale tolo kako kuregistry vale to. Fionse fila vafefia vafie. Filefia kwa batu balongwe na tupa pefile chitika muri government. Iyenu. Kwe baba panshi na tutavwa bantu nga mwaya kuregistry kulatetu muntu alekisa kotempa figa chavingale chitakatu chavinga na mulanda bwino sana. Wedi ya kuwa tumbuka nikazereza nikabeteku. Na mulanda chachi nzereza ulia. Abano tumano no kumfwale umfwafu pantu filefia lechita filose fialo. Monsa no mulanko mouse stampa. Pantu chavinga tafu yala chitafila from committee to committee member. Wala jampu kakabiri waya kwa tulea mubantule bapera fiati. Sign up, leti namba yobe, sign up, ishinari yobe, emba hapa, au takwave ya afidia.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's take, there's a dear brother of yours, he says, evening ambassador, I'm unable to connect, but please pass on the message of strong encouragement to Mr. Charles Longwe. He's a rare breed in the UPND. He's courageous, and I knew Mr. Charles a long time ago. We used to mingle with Mr. Clayson Hamasaka and himself. I will send you the name. Maybe he hasn't said whether I should say it publicly. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and give us your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador Emmanuel. This
Good
is
evening.
Mama T.
Mama T, make your contribution.
Yes. Good
Good evening, Valongwe. Mine is just to, to encourage you. We need leaders like you. We need the people who stands for the truth. And it is so encouraging that you've come out to challenge the president, who is the president of Zambia and the president of your party. We wish you well. We hope and pray that you have a lot of people who support you because you are doing the right thing. This is what we want. We want democracy. We don't want dictatorship yawe. Convention ilefwaika mu UPND. Teti mukwate president umawino kufuma mu 20 opo bafuira bamazoka. He's been the president of the party. Muyaya takwaba. Walikanya muyaya tatwefama dictators. Dictatorship tailefwaika. So if someone can be a dictator in a party, what more if you give him the power, muchalo? If you never to mona, we've seen what Akainde is capable of doing. So please go ahead with that convention. We want to see what will come out of that convention. If you are working with Garden Combo, even better. Because I believe Garden Combo can make a good leader. Because at least Adiwapo MP, he understands how the governance has to be done. And like Akainde that we have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contributions.
I'm calling you from Mandevu, the Comboni ambassador.
Comboni ambassador, my fellow ambassador, make your contributions quickly.
Yes. Uwafisha tukwete muchalo wakutila abandiro barero leshama era chale chitika mu governance ama supporters amavuvuzera ama pressingers bareranda they are bitter. How can the 20 million of us be bitter over one person? It's not possible. Abana mumala bali babita, imbwa shali babita, impemvu shali babita, takwa befyakulya efishala mumapoto. Nomba nishi bonse twali babita ngatwalanda tyapata pali wino. Umfweni governance. I like the governance yaba mwana wasa basatanga balanda, and he confessed that Sata was pushing him to work hard. Nomba because twice I got to a nomba na mafia ayakutira bakwete amaka eba kada panje eba lerondorola fenzo kufuma pamuru eba lerondorola fenzo. It's never fair, and I'm supporting that this government baona ule panifing muno Zambia na bene na bale ya ku convention balanda they are following the rule of law takwaba we funderi the chief and the one our elevate now will demean, so they should go to convention, failure to which we are going to challenge them also in court. They will not go for fighting the nominations because it's our democratic right. And I believe Kombo Gari will not be a coward this time. I trust in him. He's a sober man and very civilized and well exposed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, now the calls are tap when we have to allow Mr. Longwe to go. Hello, caller. You are our last caller for now. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Yes, this is Davis Chukumi, and I'm calling from Mong Western Province.
Yes, Davis.
Yeah, we are following the big man here, Mr. Charles, what he's saying, and it is just a shock, like what these other people they are saying. We are just shocked to come and find out that in UPND we have got people who are thinking about this country and what is happening. The big man is open now eyes to millions of people in this country for what he's saying. A number of people now, we have just come to believe that in UPND, there are just few individuals who are so inhuman, but doing things and who doesn't think about other people. But again, we have got people who are thinking about people in this country. So, Mr. Charles, thank you so much, but we are just scared about your life. Thank you so much.
Charles, as you can see, our people fear the government. They've done wrong things, and you can see they're even fearing for your life for merely speaking out. Even when you assure us that you are okay, many people think that you are not okay. Please take time to answer the other callers and then we'll begin to close.
Thank you to scholars Mwamba. I'll start with the issue of Gary Nkombo. Those are my seniors in the party. Right now, of course, my position is that they are not leaders in the party. That's why we are where we are. But you see, me, I don't subscribe to cowardice. We are politicians. If I have an ambition, I will never take someone to the police. You know, you can accuse me of anything, but me, I'm not a coward. If Gary has an ambition, let him come out. Not be tacky. To me, he seems he's popular. Let him organize himself and prove his worth. You are talking about President Hakainde Hichilema being the only candidate. You know, the Constitution allows, our Constitution is such that it allows successive terms. But if no one is challenging him, he will continue if he so desires. Of course, now that his president is limited to 2 terms. But I think that's how I can answer it in a more decent manner. But maybe people like Gary who want to be president are timid. When I embark on a task and I want to do it, I'm not looking for popular support. Even in what I'm doing, go in the party, they'll tell you, I don't mobilize against it. But there are those people, and I know a lot, have joined and are calling me every day, encouraging me, as I've seen the people here, Mwamba. You know, I watch this show. So I see that they are gracious to me today. I'm in opposition territory. And I want to thank your audience for hearing what I'm talking about. I want to thank them. Gary, if Gary wants to stand, to come out and say, I want to stand. The convention will be there. It will be open. That's my view. When Hakainde Hichilema came, Sakura Skota was there, and I think there was somebody else. There were 3 candidates. We chose one. In the successive years, I haven't heard of anyone intending to stand. So if, for one reason or the other, when Nkombo wants to stand and is popular, he should organize himself in a more better way. Yeah, that's what I would say. These are my older brothers. But I would say there are an opportunity to come. Step up. Don't you know, one day I was surprised that he took someone to the police for accusing him of having an ambition. I mean, that's cowardice. So, we need to be, as a people, clear in what we are doing so that we don't make mixed messages. Remember, yeah, Christian man. Says that unless the Lord watches over a city, the watchman watches in vain. In vain means in vain. So, I can only do so much. I will not be foolish to be so careless as not to think that there are adversaries in this thing. However, I'm also working circumspectly in these issues so that I minimize damage, so that I don't fall as collateral damage, as they say. But we are geared for this task. We need to hold in our party our leaders to account. And
Do you think the threats that my dear brother Chilufya Tayali exposed, warning Gary Nkombo that he will lose his life for challenging President Hakainde Hichilema, is that the correct spirit of the UPND? If anyone challenges President Hakainde, they risk their life to the extent. What did you think of remarks like that?
Wakandile na wafula. Na mwalishwa wama. Na wafula. If, I don't want to respond to the bloggers. They know why they do those things. Whether they are paid, whoever pays them, he who pays the piper costs the tune. If they are up for hire, they give them a script. So what he said was unfortunate. I listened to it. Very unfortunate. And my relations sent that thing to me. I got a message from my son, Punch, on my WhatsApp. He's so afraid. And listen, we all cowered down and do nothing. You know, only the reason why evil is perpetrated is when good people like you and I, Amanda, find ourselves in Arizona.
Correct.
I'm using that figure. Yeah, it's because you ran away. You ran away. Like a people that have a You know, this action we have taken, there's one key thing we are dealing with there. I think what I can do, DJ or Vita will tell you, there's a term called last minute changes. Only unique people will tell you this.
Tell us
so in
about
that
it.
court process, we'll be dealing. You know, political parties, that's what I'm telling you. You are in a one-party state. You don't understand how this governance is. We are architects. I know how the political parties operate. The political parties operate around the center of the president. Okay? It's not an institution on its own. It's around the president. So, what the president wants is what goes. In this case, there are what are known as the last minute changes. Makapepe, Simon Wansakapepe and Lukumbula returned into, because now it was one party state. And they challenged Wakaunda in 78. Overnight, just before the election, they changed the constitution. And it's amazing that in 78, they had the election. By 1983, before the next unit Congress, both of them, both men had died. It pains me. It pains me. And one of the tasks I did was to study hard to overturn that one last minute change. And this trial we have now, if we have that trial, with them changes. This thing of what? Of leaders holding on to power will be challenged. It's justice for Kapwepwe, justice for Kumbo. Posthumously, we'll do it as their children. We need to be bold to do the right thing. Somebody has to do it. But we are dealing with fellow, what I'm asking, I may be misunderstood that I'm painting UPND, too clean. All I'm saying is, let's engage each other in a more civilized way. That's all. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's try that, maybe in this case. Let's try that.
Thank you, Charles. Charles, please give the country your last word, your last remarks. And again, I think just go back to why you have taken this action against your own party.
Maybe, I would sum it up as my last remarks on this show. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for hosting me. You reached out. Nobody else has reached out. So don't cry that I'm on this show. I'm a believer. Philippians says, Paul, the apostle says, some preach out of envy, that they may get trouble for me whilst I'm in chains. But he says, in whatever way, it doesn't matter, for as long as Christ is preached. So for me, this is media. I'm communicating. I don't see it as opposition. I'm communicating. It gives me an opportunity to share my views to my fellow Zambians who are in the diaspora and also both within here in this country. So I want to say, Bama, as I end, we have a job to do in the UPN. I'm not leading an insurrection in the UPN, but we have a job to do. I've outlined my course of action. That's the only way lawfully. Those who challenge it, sure, that's what you I mean well. And I'm determined to see it to the end. No compromise. We walk. The president has always said, let me put it like this. The president says it's the rule of law. Maybe we'll ask him this time to test his own medicine. It has to be the rule of law. That's the path we take. And we'll be expecting that from everyone. You have to understand that the president now was sponsored by a political party. He is no longer a party president. It doesn't matter. He still remains commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He still remains head of government. All the respect which is supposed to be accorded to that office is retained. I'll always do that. But I'll challenge the lawlessness in the past, perpetrated by anyone. And that's what this is about. And I'm calling upon UPND members, come out from your holes. Don't be cowards. You love this party. I see you every day. We are together on the ground. All we are saying is let's hold the convention right there and choose the leadership correctly. And if that leadership will emerge and emerge victorious, we'll support that leadership. But we will not support people who are not elected. No. This is a democracy. We will only support people who are elected. Primaries around the corner. It is primaries in the constituencies. There's no picking at these, we are incumbent. Yeah, the battle told it. We will be on the ground expecting you. So when you come now during the primaries, you'll find that. Yeah. So there's nothing like keeping the national management so that you adopt yourself. No. We'll go for the primary. And if you are doing well, you'll be voted. Let's give opportunities to everyone as a political party. And this I say also, to those in the opposition, open up, don't restrict. Let the best man win. That's what I can say for now. I have a lot of things to say, but in the time we have, and it being the first time on your show, can we leave it here? Maybe another day we'll go in a more structured way, because there's really something I want to say about the governance of this country. Vis-a-vis the executive overreach and how we can use parliament.
Yes, yes. No, you are welcome, and we'll speak off camera. We can arrange another broadcast. This broadcast was specifically to attend to the development that you have taken. I would like to thank you sincerely, Mr. Longwe, for coming on my podcast and for being gracious enough, and your patience. For whatever reason, the broadcast nearly didn't take place. For 1 hour, we were struggling. We didn't have volume. But you remained patient and you said, I've spared time. We are going to have the broadcast. And after 1 hour, we had to restart the program, and you were very patient. So thank you very much. And to come and discuss the state of the country, I would like to invite you once again. Since now the matters are in court, the lawyers will argue. You can come back. We discuss the state of our country. You are welcome. So I'll reach out to you. Thank you. Yeah, dear viewers, we are hosting Charles Longwe, senior member of the UPND, long-time member of the UPND. He has taken his party to court. He wrote letters to the secretariat, reminding the secretariat that the mandate of the president and the National Management Committee and all structured had expired in February 2026. The UPND's General Congress starts from the branches, like many political parties, from right at polling station management committee. Then they hold primaries for candidates. Then they elect, the polling management committee who elect people in the wards who elect people in the constituencies. The constituencies will elect people in the district will elect people to the province will elect the National Management Committee and president. And Charles's question to his own party was, who has elected you? Your mandate has expired. He has called them former leaders, from the president to the National Management Committee. They are all former leaders. He is so resolute in his action that he has gone to court to persuade the court to grant authority that an interim committee be set up. He has even feared that, looking at the provisions in the UPND constitution, it may not be possible for the UPND to hold a general conference that respects and upholds the constitution of the UPND. And you are aware that an electoral calendar is almost already kicked in. And there'll be in 2 months' time, presidential candidates, parliamentarians, council chairperson and mayors and councillors will be filing their nominations. So at what stage will all these people have been adopted if the parties are not holding the primary functions that involves the grassroots? Charles was determined to come and discuss all this, but were overtaken by events. His lawyers were quite quick, and they filed in this petition before the courts. So you saw he spoke with a lot of restraint. And you have to understand, because he's a petitioner, and he didn't want to prejudice his own case that is before court. Otherwise, when we planned this broadcast, he was willing to come and state his case to the public. But now the matters are in court, and we hope that the courts will hear him. And Charles remains safe. The fears by our people are genuine. The fears for your life, for your family's life, are genuine, because they have seen what has happened to all of us that have challenged President Hakainde Hichilema. And they have even seen what might happen to people in your own party if they even stood for the constitution. So we salute people like Charles Longwe, and we hope that party members in the UPND will rise to the occasion. The last rider is to the opposition. The standards that Charles is asking of his own party are the same standards that should apply you to the opposition. You just can't hold a gathering and call it a conference. You cannot do that, because what will happen is you'll be disqualified. You give permission to President Hichilema and his ECZ, who are determined to disqualify the opposition. So far, there are political parties that have held conferences. The Socialist Party, if you look at our dear brother Kelvin Fubebwadia, his conference was delayed for over 3 weeks because he was told by the registrar and by the police that he needed to comply with the 30 days notice to the police, with also 30 days notice to the registrar of societies. If you look at Harry Kalaba held the first conference, and the registrar refused to accept it. It was nullified because they said Harry Kalaba didn't comply with the 30 days notice to the police, 30 days notice to registrar, and 30 days notice to his own members. It is imperative that both the UPND, the PF, and others that are yet to have conferences learn from what has happened to the other political parties that held this. Even when we suspect that rules and regulations may be used to back candidates, you have to be aware and plan for how we shall overcome this to ensure that candidates participate in the elections. Otherwise, we'll fear, like Longwe fears, that his own party may be a society that is not legal at this stage. It doesn't have an interim committee. There is a leadership vacuum because that leadership has expired. So God bless you, and God bless people like Charles Longwe, who love the country more than they love their party. He loves President Hakainde Hichilema, but he's saying, Mr. President, respect the Republican Constitution and respect the party constitution. He supports him, but he says, no, these values are far higher than individuals. So God bless you, and God bless all of you. To our dear audience, sorry for the frustrations that occurred, but sometimes we see these frustrations every time we have a big broadcast. Sometimes we suspect, sabotage, but the Lord was gracious, and this broadcast was successful. God bless you, and until next time, we'll see you soon.
We want change! We want change! We want change! We want change! We want a change!
The sound magician. Wi-Fi on the beat, boy. Bomba
mukesa tupangira kwemisebo wali mipele nevoti ati mukesa tupangira kwemisebo nimwewo mwatile mukesa tukulila nechipatala ifwe nimwewo mwatile mukesa tukulila na masukulu kuno ukutulapo twamisalila ifwe mwalitula baona lebo imisebwala yagyonaika ichipatala takwaba kuno abana besu basambilila mufimuti fyamango bana mayo mapapira mungande chipatala takwaba kuno imisepila chose malofwa bapepa byebange famalelilo mufunda tawafika nembuto tashafika ukutulapo twamisalila ifwe mwalitula baona lebo nombalelo mwabwela imwe mulefwa yatumivotele twakupele voti ngata wabombae tatwakupele voti ngata wabombae tawalimone voti ngata wabombae tawalimone voti ngata wabombae pantuno mwaka uya bebele twanakanemwe mwachilamo bufi kuya bebele akwamwelele numa kuya bebele mwachilamo bufi uno mwaka tulefwa yabakutubombera nocha bakwisa kuno mukuzembereka mukutwibira mano nga twabavotela baya nangu mwatupele ndalama tulepo kata twamivotele nidonti kubeba wapoka walya nidonti kubeba wapoka walya ababina chimwe na mwekole uko bafuma balilaba bayi kutapiza balaboko bafuma bayi kutapai balabati bakabwela balya chikinine na mabanu inapana kaso wala onalebo mulabeja ukutulapo twamisalila ifwe walitula baonalebo nombalelo mwabwela imwe mulefwa yatumivotele twakumbe